Poor social skills left me with no friends at 19 years old, and here's how I developed my communication skills to develop my dream social life. So when I was 19, I left my hometown behind and moved to a new city. I had all my friends in that hometown, and I'd met these friends just through mutual friends. I had one friend that I started out with, and then the social circle grew, and this is the group that I became very comfortable with, and I never pushed my comfort zone at all to meet new people or did anything besides just smoke weed with my boys, hang out, and talk shit. So when I went to this new city, I was terrified. I didn't know where to meet people. I was not in high school at the time. I wasn't going to college. So I didn't know how I was gonna make new friends. The only spot I could think of was at the gym. But even there, when I would see a pretty girl or a guy who I would just want to hit a lift with, I would get anxiety, I would get racing negative thoughts, and self-limiting beliefs would hold me back from ever taking action and trying to make a new guy friend who I could work out with or talk to a pretty girl who I found attractive. So this was the situation I found myself in, and I ended up isolating myself and not having any friends for quite some time. By luck of circumstance, I did end up dating a really pretty girl. She ended up talking to me and it all worked out, but it didn't work out for that long. After just 3 months, she broke up with me due to a lack of many different areas. I personally take responsibility. I really wasn't that self-developed, wasn't ready for a relationship, and as a result, I wasn't really the man who she needed or any girl wanted to be with at that time. So I got broken up with. And this ignited a fire within me to go out and improve myself. So in this video, I'm gonna be telling you the best thing that you can do to develop your communication skills and allow you to live your dream social life. Because this was the absolute essential key for me to turn my life around 360 and start the upward spiral that's allowing you to see me here on camera today talking very confidently, or being able to articulate my thoughts. And this was nothing like what I was 3-4 years ago when I told you that first story in Florida when I moved from my hometown. So the most important thing that you can do to develop your communication skills and then start being, that charismatic, funny guy that everyone wants to be around, being just a social magnet, is gonna be just doing the most difficult thing that you can think of. So for me, like I mentioned earlier, the thought of talking to a girl was the scariest thing ever. So what did I do to develop my communication skills? Well, I started talking to the prettiest girls I saw everywhere I went. So whether I was at the gym, the beach, I purposely started going to bars and clubs all the time, and by myself specifically, because I was always, I'm traveling, I'm in new areas. Like I said, I went to Florida. I ended up going to Sweden after that, and I would go to bars and clubs and talk to the prettiest girls I saw. I would do the things that were the most difficult, at least for me at the time. And that was the start of it. So beyond that, I started talking to a lot of people, guys at the gym. But once I did the most difficult thing, which was talking to girls, then everything else became easier. And then I was also starting to develop all these relationships where now I was meeting and dating girls, building my confidence. At the same time, I'd been doing self-improvement, and it all started to become an upward spiral. See, the thing is, you don't need to be Matt Rife or Kevin Hart and be the funniest guy in the room and get all these laughs. You just going out there and having a normal conversation is more than enough. This was one of the biggest realizations that I had doing this. Was I wasn't that funny guy. I wasn't charismatic. As you heard, I couldn't even go up and talk to people at 19. So when I was 20, doing all these cold approaches, going up talking to girls, just saying hi to guys in the gym, making new friends, doing all this stuff, all I would do is just have a basic conversation and try and get to know someone with some basic ass questions, just like, what's your name? Where are you from? Are you in work or school? And utilizing those, basic communication skills took me further than I would ever imagine. See, what I did at that time too was I picked up a couple books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, Captivate, also The Charisma Myth. Those were amazing books to teach me all the basics of social skills that I needed, and then it allowed me to actually implement them when I went out into the real world and was doing the cold approaches or just talking to people. So one of the best things that I learned from How to Win Friends and Influence People, one lesson from that book that I want to share, is keeping the spotlight on the other person. You don't need to try and impress them with yourself or your accomplishments or anything, really. If you just go into that conversation and focus on them and everything and make them feel special and make them feel accomplished, you're just gonna be super charismatic as a proxy, because everyone wants to feel special. And if you can be that person that allows someone to feel special, to feel validated and feel good, and it's not that hard to do, there's just a couple of things you can add in that's gonna make someone feel really great in a conversation, always asking follow-up questions, putting in their very positive, uplifting statements along with those. It's gonna carry serious weight. So this was the biggest mindset shift for me, was that I didn't need to be funny. I didn't need to crack jokes. I didn't need to have some amazing one-liner to start a conversation. All I had to do was go up to someone, introduce myself, be myself, and try and get to know them. And as a result of this, I ended up meeting so many girls, having so many relationships and amazing experiences with that. I ended up making so many guy friends who now I have amazing friends who are masculine, who want to do cool shit. Like, I have a really good guy friend in Sweden. We go rock climbing out in nature. We go to rock climbing gyms. We go hiking. We go jet skiing and tubing. We do all this fun shit. And this all came because I was out at a club one day and I introduced myself to some guy and I said, "Yo, what's up, bro?" And then he was like, "Oh, bro, do you want to come to a pregame?" And before you knew it, we started doing all these different things. We went jet skiing and we've developed such a good friendship since. So this all came because I developed my communication skills. Without me having taken those necessary steps, I wouldn't have gotten to this point where now I've had so many friendships, so many girls. All this stuff was all a proxy, a spiral off of the communication skills. And how I started was doing the most difficult thing. Because once you do the most difficult thing, you're going to realize that everything else within the spectrum is actually easy. And once that difficult thing is now an easy thing for you, your life just turned into this one thing that was such a big challenge for you into easy mode. Everything is easy then. To talk to anybody now for me is easy. Even if I'm in a monk mode and I haven't talked to anybody for weeks, just focusing on my business, I can go out there and have a conversation with any pretty girl, with anyone I see, and know how to carry it very simply and how to make them feel good, how to make them feel special, all because I took the time to do this. So the biggest things I want you to take away from this video is that if your communication skills aren't fully developed, this should be one of the priorities, one of the first things that you work on, because 99% of the things that you want out of life, whether you want a hot girlfriend, you want to make a lot of money, you want to have a circle of guys who are masculine, who support you in your goals, who are doing similar things, who aren't just smoking weed and drinking and wasting their life away. This is all going to come as a result of your communicative abilities. If you can't communicate effectively, you are not going to get a hot girlfriend. It's that simple. And even if you do, like I did back in the day, I got it by chance and by luck. I ended up messing it up because I didn't have the level of self-development or just the communication skills in order to maintain it. So the number one thing that you should be doing right now is developing your communication skills, because it will 100% 10x your life. And for example, if you have trouble talking to girls, that is what you should be focusing on right now. Speaking to as many girls as possible. If you want to say develop your charisma, say you can talk to girls, but you feel like you're just not very smooth. What I would recommend then is doing some sort of thing of giving someone a compliment every single day. It doesn't have to be a girl. It can be an old person. It can be anybody. Just giving out a compliment every single day is going to make you so much more charismatic, because the first time you do it, you're going to be really awkward like I was. To give you a quick example, about 3 years ago, once I just turned 20, I was with my friend back in my hometown. I went to visit him and I said, "Today we're gonna both give someone a compliment at the gym." And the gym session was coming to an end and we still hadn't given our compliment out. And I was like, shit, well, I'm a man of my word. I'm not leaving until I give this compliment. So I saw this older lady about 40, 50 with some colorful shoes. So I went up to her and said I liked her shoes. It was the most awkward shit ever, but I was proud of myself because I did it. And as a result, it's the little small wins that build up and stack. And now I can confidently give really good compliments, especially, that come across the right way. It doesn't come across as awkward and weird and all that. I've learned how to do it, but it all started with me falling on my face and then building off of that to get to where I'm at now. So the biggest lesson I want you to take away too is that you also need to go out there and just take action. Reading books on this alone will not help you if you don't actually go out and apply these things and learn them for yourself, get real life experiences that you can use and build off of. So that's the most important thing, is just doing the things that you feel are the most difficult and then actually taking action on them, doing them on a consistent basis, and building off of it to start an upward spiral so that you can have your dream life just like I have achieved myself. So that is all for this video. I hope you got a ton of value. If you need help developing your communication skills or anything else that I cover on here on this YouTube, then go ahead and book a free 30-minute coaching call with me down below. We're basically just going to discuss where you're at now, what areas need improvement in your life, create a game plan for you on how to achieve those things, and give you actionable steps in order to do so. So if that's of interest, click the Calendly link down below. I also have a school community where it's going to be a community of like-minded guys all looking to level up in their life, achieve the absolute best version of themselves. So if you want to be part of that community, a community of winners, go ahead and check that out. That's also going to be in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everyone.